Hey, awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another couple more tips and tricks, well, primarily tips for Baldur's Gate 3. But before we get started in the video, I just want to say, if you want to help support the channel, you can do so for free by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing, if I can speak. It helps tremendously with the channel. And if you want to help the channel more, you can do so by joining a membership. It's only 99 cents per month. Also, if you want to see something else on the channel, you can do so by letting me know down in the comments. I do have my own Discord, link is in the description. We can chat and talk about different things, stuff like that. And last but not least, I do try to stream around 4 p.m. every day. Try to. Really, I've been failing, but I've been going through a lot of stuff. But with that said, let's get into it. Right, one of the first tips is to make pretty much synergizing your party composition, making a well-balanced party with diverse skills and abilities, having characters that complement each other, pretty much building a good team that can do a lot of stuff. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can be all four spellcasters or full barbarians or whatever, right? But having a decently built team can be a difference between you barely managing it to win the combat or losing the fight, or just having a lot easier time. So for example, I'm using my solo playthrough. My main character is Carl. He's a spellcaster, right? I do have Shadowheart who can heal, and she has some abilities, that can hold person, that I can pretty much help control the battlefield. And if they're not humanoid, since I can't hold the person, what I can do is just use a glyph of warding, or fear, or pretty much other stuff that help control the battlefield, pretty much, make the enemy either not be able to move. For example, with a glyph of warding, the sleep one, that's pretty huge. Allows me, if they're grouped up, to pretty much eliminate few enemies from making a turn. And then I also do have Karlach and Lysel, who are my tanky and can do DPS, right? They cannot do as much damage as my main Carl, but they can pretty much prevent the enemy from moving to attack my spellcaster and Shadowheart. So she can Shadowheart can concentrate on whole person, and Carl can just throw fireballs, Eldritch Blast, stuff like that. They primarily do decent damage, especially if I have Action Surge, and I can use something like the Great Weapon attack. Lysel, she can attack up to 4 times if I have that short rest. And Carla can either do Legacy of Avernus Searing Smite or Branding Smite, She can get Aspect of Elk and stuff like that, so she can do a lot. Right? That is a pretty decently well composition team. If you don't want to use Karlach, or not Karlach, sorry. If, for example, you already have a spellcaster, Gale, and you have your Karlach and Lysel, you can have a support character. You can build yourself as a bard. If you want to play a bard, that is also huge. Just make sure you try to build, at least for your first playthrough, if you want to, maybe for next ones, is to build a well-balanced team, just so you have easier time, especially if you're playing on a tactician and honor mode. You want to have a nice, well-balanced team. Right. Now, tip number 2 is pretty much using stealth and ambush tactics, right? Embracing verticality and stuff like that. We kind of covered it partially in the next one. So if you know you're gonna be in a fight because it's your second playthrough, or you had to reload, set up an ambush. Let's say an enemy is gonna be right over here. You just automatically use your big stuff and set up an ambush, or get up. I can't really use it here, but get up right here, for example, and then ambush them from the height, so they have less chances to hit you. Just embracing verticality and using those stealthy options is really helpful, because it can make an enemy miss you from and you won't get as bad of a damage hit on you. Just having that smart combat will help you have easier time or worse time Depending if you just charge straight in when there's enemy on higher ground versus you taking a higher ground or even ground as them, so you're not below them, will help you a lot. Because if you shoot from at a higher ground, you have disadvantage because you're on the low ground. But if you shoot from high ground at a low, you have advantage. So getting those small little things can help you deal a lot of damage and eliminate enemies fast. Right? Those are kind of quick tip. Just remember that. Now for the next one is experiment with dialogue options. For the first playthrough, you might have chosen to pick this dialogue where you're more of a good guy. You don't take rewards and stuff like that. But for your next one, you might still want to be a good guy. You might be neutral. You might want to be like, hey, I do want to get paid, or where's my reward, stuff like that. Experiment, because that can change your pretty much stuff drastically. You might get a good reward, or you might not. It depends on your dialogue. That helps, because that will also kind of change a bunch of different cutscenes. Everything matters in this game. Now, tip number 4 is managing origin characters in their stories, like Carla, Glyzel, Shadhart. They're origin characters. So you want to try to do their stories, their quests, because all of them have unique quests and backgrounds that you can delve into and learn about their background. You might get some great rewards. You might, get some tragic backstory. Just exploring that and doing that quest is really, really rewarding and really nice. Might not be in terms of gear, but just the rich backstory that the studio and developers and a bunch of other people put into those characters. This way it offers a lot of replayability, because you might choose to go into their backstory choosing one thing, but the next one you might choose different, and it can change their stuff. Right? Now, tip number 5, be mindful of alignment and choices. Your character's alignment and choices influence your story. Consider the consequence of your actions as they lead to different outcomes, because choosing, let's say, to save this person might open up this quest. But if you chose to not save this person, it will open up this, so you might get this. It changes drastically. Some choices of your character can impact not only your alignment, but it also affect how other NPCs or how NPCs perceive you and interact with you. So this game is amazing for roleplay, because you put what you you play a character how you would normally play. It'll affect your character's personality. So be mindful of those choices, but also experiment with them. That's totally fine. I know it's kind of not fully tips and tricks, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. And hope you have a great one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.